From kart tracks to king of F1, Michael Schumacher didn't come from riches or a famous racing family. He grew up in the small German town of Herth. His father worked at a go-kart track, and young Michael fell in love with speed early on. While other kids played with toys, Michael played with engines. By the time he was a teenager, people around him could already see something special. He wasn't just fast, he was smart. He read the track, he studied his rivals. He made fewer mistakes. It was like racing ran in his blood. In 1991, he got his big chance. One race with the Jordan team in Formula One, and boom, people took notice. Not long after, he signed with Benetton and quickly started winning. He took 2 world titles with them. Then came Ferrari. Ferrari was struggling when Michael joined, but he turned them around. He didn't just drive the car, he helped build the team. He made them believe again. Between 2000 and 2004, he won 5 straight world championships. No one could touch him. Records fell. Fans screamed. Rivals respected him, even when they couldn't beat him. He retired in 2006, already a legend. But the racing bug pulled him back in for one final run with Mercedes from 2010 to 2012. It wasn't about winning anymore. It was about passion. Michael wasn't just a great driver. He was Formula One. Chapter 2. A ski trip that changed everything. It was December 29, 2013. A beautiful morning in the French Alps. Michael was skiing with his son Mick, just a dad enjoying a holiday. He'd skied many times before. He was cautious, skilled. But that day, he made a small, kind decision that led to a huge disaster. He saw the daughter of a friend struggling off trail. So Michael left the main path to help. Just 20 meters into the deep snow, he hit a hidden rock. His skis slipped, and he was launched headfirst into another rock. He wore a helmet, but the impact was so strong, it shattered. Rescue arrived quickly. At first, he was conscious but confused, speaking oddly. Then his condition worsened. A helicopter rushed him to a local hospital. But his injuries were too serious. He was transferred again, this time to a trauma center. Michael had suffered major brain trauma. Doctors placed him in a medically induced coma. They performed emergency surgeries to relieve the swelling. His family rushed to his side. The world waited, worried, silent. For a man who had always been in control, this was his biggest fight, and he couldn't even speak. Fans everywhere held their breath. This wasn't just about a racer anymore. This was about a father, a husband, a friend. The man who once ruled the racetrack was now battling for his life. Off it. Chapter 3. The long silence begins. In the days after the accident, people wanted answers. Was Michael going to survive? Would he ever walk again? Talk again? But his family gave no clear updates. Just one word: critical. Doctors explained he had bleeding in the brain, swelling and bruising. The coma was necessary to protect him. Any movement could make things worse. So they kept him sedated, his body cooled, and his room under heavy security. Only close family could visit: his wife Corina, their children Mick and Gina Maria, and a few trusted friends like Jean Todt. Outside, fans lit candles. They sent letters. They hoped. Weeks passed, then months. Eventually, it was announced that Michael had come out of the coma. He was awake, but not back to his old self. The details? Still unknown. In 2014, he left the hospital to continue recovery at home. But updates stopped. Completely. His family made a hard choice. No press, no photos, no interviews. His privacy became sacred. The media kept digging, but nothing came out. It wasn't that people didn't care. It was that they cared too much. And so began one of the most mysterious recoveries in sports history. Michael Schumacher was alive. But what that really meant? No one outside his inner circle truly knew. Chapter 4. Privacy, Protection, and Pain. After the accident, the Schumacher family faced a brutal challenge. Not just Michael's recovery, but protecting him from the spotlight. Everyone wanted to know, how was he? Could he talk, walk, smile? But Corinna, his wife, stayed firm. Michael's health was not a public story. It was private. She refused to turn their pain into headlines. Even as journalists disguised themselves as priests to sneak into the hospital, she stood her ground. Some tried stealing his medical records. One helicopter company employee even attempted to sell them, and later, shockingly, took his own life before a court hearing. Another person tried to sell a photo of Michael for over $1 million. But none of it got out. The family acted fast. Legal action was always ready. They also shut down a fake interview published in 2023. A magazine claimed to have exclusive quotes from Michael, only to later admit it was all made up. The backlash was instant. Michael's former teammates, like Rubens Barrichello and manager Willy Weber, said they tried to visit, but were turned away. The message was clear. If you're not already inside the circle, don't knock. Through it all, Corinna kept strong. She raised her children. She guarded her husband's dignity. And she made sure the world remembered Michael as the hero he was, not as a victim. Chapter 5. Rumors, Hopes, and Whispers. Since 2014, there's been a flood of whispers about Michael's condition. Some say he's completely immobile. Others claim he responds non-verbally. One rumor even said he had moved to a mansion in Mallorca. But none of it was confirmed. The few people who do see Michael, like Jean Todt, stay respectful and vague. John once said he visits Michael regularly, that he still fights, and that his life is different now. That's it. No details, no photos, just hope. In 2019, a report said Michael had received stem cell treatment in Paris. The doctor confirmed he was conscious, but again, the family shared nothing more. That same year, Netflix released a documentary titled Schumacher. It gave a rare look into Corinna's world. She said, "Michael is here, different, but here." It was heartbreaking and real. Their son Mick also opened up. He's now a racer too. He said he wishes he could talk to his dad about his career, share the little things, the big things. The bond between a father and son, cut short. Through all this, one thing remains clear. The Schumachers are not looking for sympathy. They're just asking for space. Privacy isn't about hiding. Sometimes it's about healing. Chapter 6. The Schumacher name lives on. While Michael disappeared from the public eye, his son, Mick, was quietly writing his own story. Mick grew up watching his dad win races, stand on podiums, and make history. He always dreamed of following that path, and he did. He rose through Formula 3 and Formula 2, eventually becoming a Formula 1 driver with Haas in 2021. He's soft-spoken, humble, and focused, just like Michael. But the pressure is huge. Every race, every lap, fans compare him to his father. Some cheer, some criticize, but Mick stays steady. Even when Haas let him go after 2 years, he didn't give up. Mercedes, the team his dad helped build, brought him in as a reserve driver. In 2024, he's racing in the World Endurance Championship with Alpine. He's also honored his father in touching ways. He's driven Michael's old cars at events. He's worn his dad's racing gear. In the documentary, Mick said, "I would give up everything just to talk to him again." That sentence hit fans hard. Mick carries the name Schumacher, but also carries the weight of a legacy and a quiet pain that few can understand. He's not trying to replace Michael. He's just trying to race. And remember. Chapter 7. Will we ever see him again? It's been over 10 years since the accident. No public photos, no videos, no solid updates. The family once considered sharing one big statement. But then what? They'd have to keep talking. The press would never stop asking. So they stayed silent. Fans understand, even if it hurts. Michael gave the world so much. His talent, his passion, his victories. Maybe the least we can do in return is let him have peace. Still, there's hope. Jean Todt, the man who visits Michael regularly, said it best. I hope the world will be able to see him again. He believes it's possible. So we do too. Michael Schumacher wasn't just a driver. He was a symbol of never giving up, of pushing limits, of winning for more than just yourself. And even now, in silence, that spirit lives on. His family continues to protect him. His son carries the torch. His fans still chant his name. Michael is still here, not as the champion on the podium, but as the fighter behind closed doors. And maybe, just maybe, one day, we'll see him again. The fight continues. Michael Schumacher may not be on the racetrack anymore, but his legacy lives on in every lap, every victory, and every challenge his family faces. His son Mick continues the journey, and the world watches, hoping for the day we hear from the man who captured hearts with his passion and determination. The story of Michael Schumacher isn't over. It's just silent for now. But his fight is ongoing, and one day perhaps we'll see him again. Until then, we remember the legend, the icon, and the champion who changed racing forever.
Chapter 8, A New Generation, A New Hope. While the world waited in silence for any news about Michael Schumacher, life quietly moved forward for his family. In March 2025, a new chapter began. Gina Schumacher, Michael's daughter, welcomed her first child, a baby girl named Millie. The announcement was simple but powerful. A photo, a heartfelt message, and a reminder that even in the shadow of tragedy, life finds a way to bring joy. For the Schumacher family, Millie's birth was more than just a happy event. It was a symbol of resilience, a sign that hope and love endure, even after years of hardship. Michael and Corinna became grandparents for the first time, a bittersweet milestone for a family that has spent so long out of the public eye. Gina, known for her own success in equestrian sports, has always chosen a quieter life, away from the roar of engines and the flash of cameras. But with Millie's arrival, she shared a rare glimpse into the family's private world, a world still defined by strength, unity, and the legacy of a father and grandfather who inspired millions. Fans around the globe celebrated the news, seeing it as a moment of happiness in the long, difficult aftermath of Michael's accident. For many, Millie represents the future, a new generation carrying the Schumacher name, and perhaps one day the spirit of competition and courage that defined her grandfather. Chapter 9, Signs of Life, Glimpses Behind the Curtain. For over a decade, Michael Schumacher's life has been hidden from public view. The family's fierce protection of his privacy became legendary. Only a handful of people allowed to visit, no photos, no interviews, and constant vigilance against those who would exploit his condition. Yet in recent years, subtle signs have emerged that the Schumachers are finding new ways to connect with the world and with each other. In 2024, Michael made a rare public appearance at his daughter Gina's wedding in Mallorca. The event was tightly guarded, with guests required to leave their phones at the door. But for those in attendance, it was a powerful moment. The racing legend once thought lost to the world, present for a family milestone. Rumors swirled that this might signal a gradual easing of the family's strict privacy, and fans dared to hope that more such moments might follow. Then ahead of the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix, Michael participated in a symbolic gesture. With his wife's help, he inscribed his initials on a helmet to support Sir Jackie Stewart's Dementia Foundation. This small act sent a wave of hope through the F1 community. Though he remains unable to speak and dependent on round-the-clock care, Michael's presence, even in silence, reminds the world that he is still fighting, still part of the story. These glimpses, rare as they are, offer comfort to fans and serve as a testament to the Schumacher family's enduring strength. They show that even as the world waits for a miracle, the legacy of Michael Schumacher is alive, not just in records and memories, but in the quiet, everyday moments of love, resilience, and hope.